Well, as promised, in the lead up to our 2020 8-game Big Ten schedule, I am back with another remastered video from my original Big Discussions 76 channel. This video is capturing my thoughts in the aftermath of last year's Iowa game. So in 2019, Kirk Ferentz brought his Iowa Hawkeyes into the Big House to match up against Old Khaki Pants' Michigan Wolverines. Old Khaki Pants is a nickname a viewer recently gave Jimmy. So this video that you're about to watch captures my thoughts on that frustrating roller coaster ride that was the 2019 Iowa game. It's a game that had a bunch of us clutching our seats and hoping for the best, and in some instances wondering why Shea didn't just heave the ball down to Nico Collins on every series. It's a game that could have very much sealed Jimmy's fate, which would have made half of our fan base happy and elated. And in my opinion, it was a game that was a harbinger of things to come in that very, very frustrating 2019 season. I realize that these remastered videos may not be as popular as the new stuff, but I think as a writer, I think that history is important for context and just to think about, where we are now versus the previous year. And also, I have a bunch of new subscribers here on Big Discussions 76 Sports that I didn't have the previous year. So some people may never have seen this before. If you're watching this for the first time, please give it a like and go blue. I'll talk to you the next time, and enjoy this remastered video of my thoughts in the aftermath of last year's 2019 Iowa game. Wow. Well, somehow the Michigan Wolverines defeated the Iowa Hawkeyes yesterday 10-3 up at the Big House in Ann Arbor, Michigan. The following are my thoughts on the game and my thoughts going forward for the rest of this 2019 season. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dr. Anwar Youssef Dunbar, and this is a recap of yesterday's 10-3 thriller up at the Big House versus the Iowa Hawkeyes. So I wanted to make a video, hopefully this will be a shorter one, on the Wolverines' victory yesterday up at the Big House against Iowa. This will probably be my last Michigan football video for at least another week because I'm going on vacation, and so I wanted to get this one in before I went, and I wanted to talk about it while the feelings for the game are still fresh in everyone's mind, and as I'll discuss, the feelings at this point are very different. Once again, this is not going to become an all Michigan football channel, but I am a Michigan alumnus, and these videos are performing very well, and I've gotten a bunch of new subscribers due to my Michigan football content, and at some point I might split off and make a channel just for athletics and sports, which is a category on my blog site. As you can see, I'm wearing a Michigan Pharmacology t-shirt. This is the department I was in when I was in graduate school. The Department of Pharmacology was over, or is over on the medical campus, and I went there and did my research every day with my classmates and lab mates, and listened to the Ticket 1050 WTKA in the mornings and in the afternoons. And the Department of Pharmacology was having a sale on this University of Michigan Pharmacology gear, so I loaded up on some of this paraphernalia. And so I just want to give a shout out to my department, the University of Michigan Pharmacology. Before I get into yesterday's game, I want to say that I'm leaving an essay I wrote for A Voice for Men in the description box below about what football teaches boys about becoming men, and what valuable skills boys get from football. I didn't play football when I was younger, for the most part because I got turned on to the sport later, and I'm not going to talk about it. It's in the description box below. I'll probably make a separate video on that, but since this is a football video, I thought I'd plug that that essay. A Voice for Men is it's a website for men. It's for men's rights, and it promotes masculinity and manhood, and talks about some of the current issues that men are facing in our society today. So I'll stop that right there. If you're curious about it, please check it out, and please promote it in your network and share it. So let's jump in to yesterday's heavyweight fight / slugfest. Wow, I can't believe after all the controversy following the Wisconsin loss and the whole storm following that, I can't believe the Wolverines pulled it out yesterday, and I'm going to discuss why. First of all, I want to send a shout out and I want to salute the defense. After the beating the defense took against Whiskey, they won the game for us yesterday, and based upon the performance of the offense for most of yesterday's game, I was sitting there clutching my pillows, literally waiting for Iowa's physical offensive line to wear down our defense, and I was just waiting for them to break off a few big plays and blow the game open, because we were our team was protecting a 7-point lead for most of the game. So Iowa just needed one more touchdown and a field goal to go ahead and steal that victory from us. And of course, if they stole the victory, it would have been chaotic for the team and for the fan base and for the school. So all day long, the defense got good pressure on Iowa's quarterback, Stanley. I can't think of his first name, and I didn't look it up. If you know what it is, please put it in the description box below. But I was, leading up to the game, you heard that he was very poised and he was very smart and he didn't turn the ball over. And he made some good throws, especially on third down when we had them pinned back. But the defense also forced him into throwing 3 picks, which was great. I was astounded late in the game by how Iowa's O-line and just their offense seemed to implode and self-destruct a little bit, particularly late in the fourth quarter when they were driving and they had good field position and they got consecutive false starts and holding calls, which just pushed them further and further back from the end zone. So I was surprised to see that, but maybe that was a testament to how much our defense was pushing them and applying pressure on them all day long. Maybe they just snapped and lost their poise at the end, but it was very astounding to see as a Michigan fan. I want to send a shout out to Quinny Pay, who went out of the game due to an injury. I thought when Quinny Pay went out, I was like, oh my gosh, now the defense is really gonna, whatever momentum it had, it's gonna collapse now that Quinny Pay is gone. But Mike Denna came in and filled in. I want to shout out Cam McGrone, Khalik Hudson, and Ambry Thomas. Some of those guys got very key interceptions in that game, which got Iowa off the field. So, and also I want to shout out our defensive coordinator, Don Brown, who I've questioned in the past and who has been much maligned. He called a good game yesterday, though, again, we have to see what he and the unit are able to do going forward, because there are some high-powered offenses on the schedule that they are going to have to face, and potentially that they're going to have to try to slow down and maybe carry the team again, such as against Penn State and against Ohio, which I'll get to later. But basically, the defense won the game for us. In terms of the offense, before I get into my bullet points here, I want to reiterate that I was okay with last year's offensive scheme. We had the fullback back there, and we had a lot of balance. And I was okay with the scheme. I thought that the play calling, I guess it was Jim's play calling, I thought Coach Harbaugh's play calling was a little too conservative at times. We didn't use the wide receivers as much, which seems to have carried over to this year. And I thought that some of the play calls in key situations just didn't make sense in terms of keeping drives going. So I was okay with the scheme. I just wasn't happy with the play calling all the time. So yesterday's offense. As with everyone, I was disappointed, that disappointment is with an asterisk, and I'm going to get to that shortly. I was pleased with the opening drive. Shea threw to Nico Collins early, got a big reception, which moved the team down the field, and then we got that touchdown off a running play, so I was really pleased with that, and I was expecting to see more throughout the day. In the post-game press conference, Shea said that Iowa had made adjustments to stymie our down-the-field attack and our passing attack. So it's possible, as fans, while it looked like Michigan went away from the receivers, maybe Iowa did in fact play the chess match, and they did something that stopped more deep balls from going down the field. I don't know. There were lots of missed opportunities. I'm thinking about those two field goals, which we missed, which our kicker missed, and both of those trips into the red zone, which set up those field goals. So the team got into the red zone and got close to the goal line, but they just couldn't finish off the drives. And against a team like Ohio, that not being able to finish will be lethal. So you got to at least get field goals there. So the game could have easily been 16-3 or greater, but the team just didn't. The offense just didn't finish off those drives when they got down there. So they were able to move the ball to some degree. There were moments where fumbles almost crept back into the game and almost snatched away any momentum that the team had developed. I'm thinking about, maybe it was Charbonnet, and I think one of the O-linemen recovered it. And then on a punt return, Donovan Peoples-Jones had the ball knocked loose. I was just saying, Donovan, just go out of bounds. Just go out of bounds. Go down. Grab the ball with two hands and just go out of bounds. And the ball popped loose, and fortunately someone from the maize and blue picked it up. So that almost happened, and that's something that they're going to have to, I guess, work on and correct and just fix. As described, it seemed like in certain instances they were able to drive the ball down the field, but just they weren't able to finish. Shea's interception was just the wrong read. There were two wide receivers running across at the same time, and the defender was right there in the middle, and Shea went for the receiver that was furthest away as opposed to the underneath guy who was wide open. And if he'd hit that underneath guy, we probably would have gotten the first down and the drive would have kept going, but he threw that, got a little too ambitious and made the wrong read. So going back to the asterisk on being disappointed about yesterday's game, I think it's important to remember. Well, I don't think Shea's a nice drop back quarterback like Tom Brady or John Navarre or Chad Henne. Uh, he's not like any of those guys. He's more of a run pass option, running quarterback with some ability to throw. But I think it's also important to remember that this year's offense is different and the running game is different. Last year he was handing off to Karan Higdon, and Karan Higdon, in a lot of instances, was running behind a running back, Ben Mason, and so there was that balance was there. So Shea could hand off, snatch the ball away, and run for large gains himself. Well, our running game this year, as good as Charbonnet is playing, it seems like our primary strategy is to run into the interior and behind the line. So the running game is seeming to lack that pop where one of our running backs can get out and break the run and gash the defense for large gains. We don't seem to have that right now, and I think it's affecting everything. I don't know if they'll be able to fix that, but I think that's a glaring difference from last year's team. And I made a video about that, about the team missing Chris Evans. I'm going to leave that in the description box below, in addition to all my other videos about this year's football season. Let's see. Yeah, so it's a different offensive scheme, more of a spread. Ironically, kind of going back to Rich Rod's years, we're back at a spread. I want to acknowledge former Ohio coach Urban Meyer. I think Urban Meyer's, well, he's working for Fox now, so he has to he has to be as objective as he can. But I liked what he said in that he acknowledged that our team still has the potential despite how it's playing. But he raised a really good point, and that's that coaches can coach and they can draw up the most elaborate schemes, but at some point, the players have to make plays. So at some point, Zach Charbonnet has to break one of those runs just by making the defender miss. And the same thing is true for Nico Collins and Donovan Peoples-Jones and those things. There's a point at which the coaches can only coach up to a certain point, but the players have to actually go out there and make the plays. So I thought that was a very key point by Urban Meyer yesterday. So in conclusion, it was a good win. I wasn't sure. I was waiting for the bottom to drop out, and I was just envisioning that Iowa would come back or blow one open, or that they would wear our defense down. It was very uncharacteristic of a Kirk Ferentz team to implode like that and get all those penalties, because he's an offensive line guy, and his teams are just very physical and disciplined. And so it was cool to see that. It was cool to see the team hang on and get the victory like that on homecoming. However, the truth of the matter going forward is that against some of the teams that are coming up on the schedule, that's not going to be enough. It's probably not going to be enough against Penn State, which is the game is down in Happy Valley. It's probably not going to be enough against Notre Dame, and it's probably not going to be enough against Ohio unless the defense continues to bottle teams up like that. But we know that Ohio has a lot of athletes, and they're going to run those crossing routes. And from what I saw, that Justin Fields, he's like Braxton Miller 2.0 or 4.0. He can run, he can throw, and he's a big kid. So yesterday's win was good, but the offense is going to need to, at some point, deliver on its part. It's going to have to deliver its part. It's going to have to do its part. So one question that keeps coming up, So in my crew of friends, I'm going to wrap the video up here, but I think two of us are Michigan fans. Well, one is a Michigan fan until the team hits adversity. And then he becomes a fair weather fan. And then two of us are Ohio fans. And my brother I think he kind of roots for Michigan because I went to Michigan. But so our two friends who root for Ohio, they keep asking the question after these games, is Harbaugh going back to the NFL next year? And they're doing it because they know it's an annoying question, and they're doing it just to gouge us and to gouge me. And so yesterday, after we won the game, the question came up: is Harbaugh going back to Ohio? I'm sorry, is Harbaugh going back to the NFL? And so, so my first thought to that is, if he's that bad a coach, why would the NFL take him back? So if he's that bad a coach, if he can't beat Ohio, and if he can't develop quarterbacks, why would he get another job in the NFL? But I was reading an article in the Free Press which said that the decision, Coach Harbaugh could, decide to retire or decide to leave his position, but ultimately the decision for firing him ultimately belongs to our athletic director, Ward Manuel. So, when things are going good, they're going good. When things are going bad, the sharks are swimming. The media's talking. Fan bases from other programs are out shooting their arrows at your team and trying to gouge you and bludgeon you as much as you can. But none of us really know if he'll be back next year. None of us really know how the season's going to end up right now. And right now, once again, the fan base is kind of split. There are those of us who are happy that we got the win yesterday and who are optimistic and who are trying to stay optimistic. And then there are those fans who feel like it's the Armageddon and that it's not going to get any better regardless. But that's also part of what makes this exciting from week to week. So Coach Harbaugh and the Wolverines have they've survived to live another week and to fight another week. Next up is Illinois, and we'll have to see what happens there. Please let me know what you think in the comment section below. These videos about the Michigan football schedule and the team have gotten a lot of feedback and participation from viewers, which is very cool. So please leave your comments in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. Please like the video. Please share it. Please subscribe to my channel. And I will talk to you the next time. And always remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Go blue. And I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.